again, we really moved you today. And then you can have your seats once more as we get into those were really good questions that you asked, Edward. And I kind of just want to know, because I figured we're kind of assuming that everyone knows who a disciple is. So, what would you guys say? In just your own words, who is a disciple?
All right. Thank you for the question. I think the definition of disciple itself has been a lot distorted, because we think about discipleship is, we count how many people are in the discipleship training, how many people are in the cell groups. But disciple of Christ is really who disciple others for Christ. If they don't disciple others for Christ and they are just sitting around in the church, they are not the disciple of Christ.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's really good. So if you don't disciple people, then you're not really a disciple.
Yeah, so disciple of Christ really have to build their spiritual muscle, which is to practice discipleship every day. In 2020, we and our team, we don't want to be just like talking about discipleship. We really want to experience in our life what it feels to be a disciple maker. So we challenge ourselves to day by day, we have to pick one person for us to disciple. It's very hard. Very hard. But it also gives us so much growth that we have never thought before. We don't know that, well, we are born sinners. We are born selfish. And discipleship really trains us to become selfless person. When we are tired, when we are feeling not good, but then we take this commitment to just disciple one more person. Disciple one more person.
Right, even when it's inconvenient.
Yes.
What about you?
Well, essentially what Panya said, so I just fully agree with her. I do have a small checklist for you. So you start with the question, do I have a beard? And then depending on your answer, in some contexts you might qualify as a disciple maker, in some you can't. Wow, you're taking this really seriously. I was expecting a bit more laughs here. A beard, beard, yeah. My English sometimes is not helpful. So anyway, so here's the quick checklist. Well, beard too, like if you have a beard, that does tell some things about disciple making too. So, but more helpful questions are this. One is, do I disciple anybody else? Like a particular person. If you cannot come up with a name, probably that's not happening. Two is, am I being discipled by someone? And then three, do I make decisions, key decisions in my life based on active, dynamic discernment of what I perceive as God's guidance in my life? So I think those three questions.
That's good. That's good. One last one. What would you say, in your opinion, is the thing that keeps the local church from becoming disciple makers? Do you agree with Edward that it's a lack of intentionality?
Yes, I think the challenge for discipleship right now, we have lost a lot of the most strategic generation to become disciple maker. Most of the teenagers that I found were never been discipled before. And all the mentors that were trying to disciple them also told me, I have never been discipled when I was teenagers. So when we lost this one generation, and who doesn't disciple the other generation, we have lost a lot of the most strategic generation.
This is a bit of a dangerous question. By the way, I just realized that everybody is looking in that direction. When I start speaking, like, why is everybody looking in that direction? And then I realized there is a huge screen that is like us on it. So feel free to keep looking in that direction. This is a dangerous question, so I'll have to go off record. I'm aware that this is being recorded, but hopefully it will not get translated into Ukrainian or Russian, and I won't get into trouble with my pastor and my church. Technically, I'm a pastor too. Anyway, so with the church, I think one of the challenges that some churches become really good in engaging people in church activities. So when we talk about discipleship in that context, it often means how can we lead someone to Christ and then make them very busy with whatever it is that we are doing in our church. And I'm not saying that we are doing wrong things. Like our church is a large church outside Kyiv, doing a lot of great things. But I think there is a difference between engaging people in church activities and between creating an environment that would help people grow. Again, last week as we were talking in Istanbul, I'm just going to share something that I find very disturbing. One of us actually shared a couple of examples that might indicate that some of our churches not only not helping people to get discipled, they're actually not interested in people getting discipled. Because being discipled means going deep. Going deep means asking hard questions. Asking hard questions means developing a critical mindset that is being guided by the Holy Spirit. And this is not a journey that some of our leaders would like people to be on. It's much easier when you just give people a sanitized version that would make them into good tithe givers, into good practitioners of our activities. I know I'm being harsh. Well, my country is at war, so I should get some slack on being harsh these days. So thank you.
Those are really wonderful responses. Thank you. And maybe to close, I'll ask Mark, what's your one takeaway from this whole session?
Yeah, I mean, I listened, Edward Lessig, earlier he said something. I kind of covered it up with my next question, but he said, discipleship doesn't happen by chance. And I really feel like just connecting the dots here, that this intentionality and, there's a price to be paid for a church to turn the corner. And everything that Vanya is saying and everything that Ruslan has said talks about a DNA, a lifestyle, an approach where, no, this is what we do and this is where we're going. And I think that's the key takeaway here.
Perfect. Awesome. So I pray that all of us feel challenged. I know we've been moved. So I just hope going forward we implement everything that we've heard and we really reflect on the sessions that we've heard today.
God bless you. Thank you.